Okay, let's talk about some productivity tactics. Honestly, there's gonna be like millions of people who are gonna be like, "Oh, do this. The Pareto's principle is the this." Shut up. You don't need to be like so autistic about this. Let's straight away get down to like one of the main basic things. Like sure, like if you look at people who are very successful in their field, whatever it may be, and what people have learned from those people, like one person who've learned from millionaires, what they say is that sleep is one of the main, if not crucial, essential things that you be getting. Because one of the things, like when you sleep early, you wake up early, and the moment you do wake up early, earlier than others, let's say, you don't have a lot of people trying to distract you or take your time from you. Because come on, like even if it's people that you actually care about, and like something comes up, and you'd be glad that they're the ones that like distracting you, other than it's other people. But at the end of the day, you still get distracted, and you kind of step back a little bit from the work that you do. Excuse me. As I was saying, if you probably heard this, if not, the term "eat the frog." Like basically, imagine you and me, we sit down for dinner or breakfast, and we literally have maybe like a dead frog, maybe even an actual frog on the table, and then we have like this cutlery of like all these foods, juice, meat, and all the good stuff, steak or whatever. You know that you have all these things that's, you know, left to eat, but then you have the frog, so your like tongue, palates, they're all clean, they're like all freshened up, ready to consume these food. What would you eat first? Honestly, would you first eat the tasty, the good, healthy food, and then you get all these taste buds and everything, and then at the end, do you continue to eat the frog, and that messes up your tongue and your like that's the last thing that you're gonna have. Not even dessert. Oh, that was your dessert. But then we flip it around. You do the hardest thing, which is eat the goddamn frog. Even if you mess up your tongue palates and it was so gross and everything. You already got it out of the way. You finished it, you ate it. And the next thing is you get to enjoy your sweet, tasty, delightful meal. That is the same thing goes for the food. Not the food. Same thing goes for, especially for the tasks that you have. Because think about it. You have like the most important, let's say you have this one project that you need to do. But then before that, you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to have breakfast and I'm going to do this. And after that, okay, I did these two things. But then lunch is coming up now. So you do end up telling yourself, right after I eat my lunch, I'm gonna get down to it. But then you end up like, you become like lethargic and you're like all full up your stomach. You had carbs, so that's gonna make you a bit of sleepy, like this sense of sleepiness, and then you're like, I'm saying all these things, I'm expressing all these things, like all of this happened to me in the past. It even happens to me quite recently too. But then depends on the things you do. But overall, like when you try to not plan things and just do things just on the flow of things, that is just crazy. Because why not just get it done eating the frog? In this case, doing the hardest thing first in the morning, and that's gonna save you like a ton of time. And another thing I could point to would be honestly batching. Batching is basically you do one thing and you do more of that one thing. Like say I'm recording this video right now. I could honestly record a video today, stop it, and I'm already in the flow of things, I can continue talking, or I could just do something else, and then I record again tomorrow. But then that would just be like 2 videos, like today and tomorrow, yesterday, today. But then imagine if I can just do 2 or 3 or who knows more. That's just today, and tomorrow I do another one, but another 2. The next day I don't, or maybe the next day, that day, I do another 2. Who knows? And that's actually gonna save me time in the future. Because honestly, like a lot of people here come to this YouTube space and they're like, oh, okay, I need to think of what's the most thing that I can say that can actually hook people around, who they would actually stick around with. They're focusing more on getting the views than actually giving out value. But then you need to have some certain amount of knowledge, experience, hardmanship, mentorship, I guess. You need to go through all these things to even eventually give out the value. Because obviously, who's gonna... I mean, obviously you do have to like learn things and then understand things, and then you do your navigating the world missions. It's really interesting. We started with productivity and we ended up here. But yeah, honestly, if we're gonna like sum everything up, it's gonna be basically sleep and batching. And obviously, you're gonna think it's gonna be the same thing I'm gonna talk about like everyone else. You probably heard of the 80-20, 20-80 rule. Basically, what it means is the 20% of the stuff that you do out of the 100% will actually give you 80% of the results, and then the 80% of the stuff that you do will just give you 20% of the end product of that. So like, let's say you put a list of 10 things. I wish I could like type something here, but just imagine 10 things, right? Maybe it's reading this, maybe it's doing this task, maybe it's doing that, but there's like 10 tasks, right? And only 2 of them are actually give you a high ROI. That's gonna give you like the 80% of the rewards of that. To me, even that, when I first heard about this, it was like wishy-washy, and I did not believe it. It wasn't until I honestly like differentiated things between which were essential and which were like non-essential. Because when I focused more on the essential stuff, I realized how much of a high ROI I was getting from them. Whereas the non-essential things, surely, obviously, they did give me some kind of reward back. They did have like these low ROIs, but at the end of the day, they did not make like significant amount of progress, unlike the ones that you get from the 20% of the stuff that you do. It's just crazy. But then you navigate the world and you see it for yourself and like, wow, like this stuff really works. Have a great day.